Nikken. Doing Nikken means that we're talking to people. That's what Nikken is conversations, and have as many as we can and get really good at conversations. And what we're doing is sharing something important, something that can actually change a person's life. And so we want to be careful about that, not just wing it, whatever falls out of our mouth. Be really skilled, really do care about people, have that heart message that Nikken's all about, and they'll feel it, that we really care about them. We're not just trying to sell them something. But in those conversations, what's really fun is I've got a new lady, and she's had some miracles happen. They're already executive. She's 2,400 away from hitting silver this month, and told her to kind of go for it. Well, about that time, a person that I'd reached out that's also new, I called her and she called me back. Now, the thing, almost all my calls now, I love just doing it with my headset in and my iPhone. And when that shows up, you see the other person's name. And if I look and it feels appropriate, which is most of the time, I'll just merge. And that makes it even more effective. And so here's my gal that's well along towards silver, super excited, and a new person that's just getting started calling me back. And so I just put merge. And that what was really fun is me, the guy that's moving and making things happen. I'm just sitting back and listening to these two ladies converse and get each other more and more excited. And so that you could say is a three-way phone call. Isn't that powerful? And I do that all the time. It's amazing. A lot of times I'm talking to somebody, and maybe somebody that works really good. They call me, Ben Woodward, Mike, Rick, some of these people. And if I'm on the phone with somebody and they call, I want to talk to them. And that's fun to talk to them. But one of the best things I can do is if I got a superstar and I'm already talking to somebody, I'll just say, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody, because I see this other call coming on, and I'll push the button and merge them. And so they're all excited about telling me something else. And I say, hey, I've got somebody on the call. This is Mark. Hey, I want to introduce you, to Ben or whoever. And then they're doing three ways for me. And I think one of the coolest things, and yet one of the saddest things is a lot of these leaders that are doing really good, I have them working for me all the time, doing these a lot of times spontaneous three ways. I also have purposeful three ways where I'll reach out to these people and get great things done. But so many of them, I say, hey, thank you for doing that. I'm getting pretty good at doing three ways too, and I'd be happy to do that. And very few of those people take me up on it. I just think this is fascinating, because if you want to lead and really build a business, you want to be talking to new people, and you want to be doing three-way phone calls. That is the most important thing. If people that are doing three-way phone calls are almost certainly growing their business. People that aren't doing three ways, they're probably dead in the water. They're probably stuck. They're certainly not growing as fast as they can, because it's an essential part of team building. If you want to duplicate, you've got to do that. You've got to let go of you doing all the stuff, and you've got to show a new person. Let's say you bring a new person in, and you're experienced, all this stuff, and you think, I can do it myself. Well, that's one of the dumbest things. What you want to do, you never want them to think, oh my goodness, you are smooth, you know everything. You don't want them to be thinking, well, wow, I don't know if I could ever be as good as them. However, if you do what everyone can do, and you bring somebody else on that's the expert, all of a sudden they realize, wow, that works. And I found, even though I know Nikken inside and out, and I'm pretty good at this, I do better if I bring somebody else on, even somebody that's fairly new, doing three ways for me, because that's the model to build a business, is doing three ways. And the other thing is just that idea that we know that three ways brings in the power of two against one. They don't have a chance. That energy. However, that with that, you don't want to there's right ways and wrong ways to do that. Maybe just kind of go to the very basics. When you're brand new, getting started, the best way to do three ways is use that as your apprenticeship. And if you talk to really close friends, people that you know really well, and call them and say, hey, Bill or Mary or whoever, hey, I don't know if you've heard, but I've just made a career change. I'm super excited. Listen, do you have a minute? And if you get that cleared, this is a good time to talk. Then you can just say, hey, I've got, Julie, or I've got, Ben or somebody on the phone with me. They're a real successful partner. And if you got just a minute, I want to tell you what I'm doing. And so you can actually start off right off the bat with people that you know really well, and do that magic of the three-way to get them initially excited, and then just turn it over to them. And then you hear their words, and you're learning what to say from somebody that's already successful at saying the right things to sponsor people and get them interested in at least meeting with you, realizing how good it is. But also you're learning the right words from someone else, and so you can learn those, borrow them, and make them your own words. And so that's the duplication. So that's really powerful. Now, once you go past the people that you know really well, you don't want to use three ways as the initial approach, because that's kind of creepy. If you don't know someone really well and all of a sudden there's two people on the line, that definitely feels like a sales job. It's just too much firepower. And so at that point right there, three ways turn into the second look or the third look. That would be the follow-up call, introducing to the team. I compare it a lot to, as an example, all of us have had this experience of going on the car lot. And I think this is a really good parallel to how to build a business. If you walk on the car lot, what always happens in a fairly short time, some friendly person comes up and they shake your hand and introduce themselves, and is there anything particular you're looking for? And the conversation kind of goes into, pretty soon, if you really are on the lot to buy a car, pretty soon you're driving one. Now at that point, then it kind of starts coming up a little bit more. Well, what would it take to earn your business? What are you looking for? What you need to make this happen? Well, let me introduce you to my manager. He can make those decisions. And then now the next step is, all of a sudden, here's the finance person, here's all of these people working for you, and you're just pulled in, and it's okay, because it just kind of happened gradually. However, what would happen if you went on the car lot and all of a sudden the salesman, the sales manager, and the finance person, they all come up at the same time? And even if you're there to buy the car, you just kind of get creeped out, and you think, well, no, I'm just looking, I'll see you later, and they'd run you off. That's the same way. Even though you're looking, the idea with NECANN is we're looking for people that are looking also, but we want to just kind of reach out to them, develop rapport, talk to them, go over and show them the product, the value of what we have, and then introduce them to our sales manager, so to speak, our business partner. And it works just the very same way. It's so powerful. Doing three ways are just absolutely amazing if you use it that way. As I mentioned earlier, anytime you're in conversation and you're talking to people, look at reasons how you could maybe bring somebody else onto that conversation. It could be another person that's fairly new. It could be another person that has had the same challenge health-wise, and what they use to have success. It could be something to do with the business, anything to do with NECANN. Bring on an expert, and just kind of think, this is a business, like we all say, that it's not a business. It is a business for yourself, but not by yourself. You don't ever want to be a lone ranger. Everything you do, if you kind of involve the team doing these three ways, everything you do gets duplicated. And the thing that's powerful is when you do it this way, they realize that they have this reassurance of a team that can support them. If you've already done a few three ways with them and introduced them to people, all of a sudden they feel comfortable. In fact, I even bring that up. I'll say, you know what we're doing with you right now, we can do that with you. When I do three-ways with people on those initial calls, meeting a new person, I say, this is actually the model of how it works. And just like, Mary, who asked me to come on the call with you, all of the stuff that we're going through with you, I would like to do the very same thing for you. Think about the people that you know that you really enjoy being with anyway, because this is the whole idea, is this is a business where you can choose who you work with. Who would you really enjoy having as a friend and working together? Add that to people that have some gumption, have some drive, they're looking for something. They probably would be interested in these type of products, and therefore they'd want to share them with other people. Of those kind of people, who can we talk to and have this very same conversation that you and I are doing right now? I'll come to work for you and do the very same thing. It works. And they say, okay, I'll do that. And you could even at that point set up a time. I don't just say, well, if I can help you, just give me a call. You could say, let me think. You know what? If at this moment right now, if I were to ask you, of all the people you know, and you were going to run with this as a business, of all the people you know, who is the one person that above all others that you would really want to have on your team? Because if you knew they were on your team, you just know they would probably kick it, because they don't go into anything half-hearted. They would be good in this. If you could just say one name, who would that be? And a lot of times there'll be a hesitancy, but I'll tell you, if you say those kind of words, in their mind, they're thinking of somebody. And so at that point, I'll prompt them. I'll say, with what I just said to you, I'm sure your brain is turning. Whose face, who's in your mind right now that you're thinking about? Just say that name. And I'll just expectantly ask them, and then they might mention that name, and then I'll say, why do you think they would be good? How do you know them? What do they do right now? And then at that point, I could say, now, if you want, we could actually reach out to them if you know them real well, and we could do a three-way together. Or if you want, if you're just kind of not, you're a little hesitant right now, what I'd highly recommend you do is do a test drive with us, and just maybe text them and say, hey, I'm looking at something, and do you know anything about energy medicine or earthing, or whatever that gets you excited about NIKEN that you think might excite them, and just text them and ask them if they know anything about it, and then see what they respond to and get the conversation going, and then I can come on. So, yes, Madeline.
Well, I'm wondering as I'm listening, because I'm on the Alliance to Royal and a couple other times just in talking, the HPM Invitational, and Luis with his presentations, just like last Wednesday, and when you interviewed him on Saturday. And is that interview on your website so that others can watch that?
We'll get it posted forthrightly. It'll be on the Call of a Leader.
What I think would be nice to enhance what you're just saying, I think your tips and your simplicity are so fabulous, but instead of only saying earthing or whatever you were just using as what excites you about what you've seen, is this mission and purpose, that the humans being more, the active, with the international active wellness community, the community. So when, like three-way, you even mentioned three-way there, the way we help one another, you said all of that so well. If there's a way to add into that, this humans being more, that, would you agree what we have in the world today? I mean, Luis says it so well, and I'm not sure that I've got to practice it too, because I kind of jump in with presentations, but too quickly. But would you agree that, just like people texting and the need for relationshiping, just like Barb brought up so well, and communing and communication with one another, this is such a wonderful example. We work together as a team, and we have this beautiful philosophy and mission. And that if small groups of people are doing this everywhere, that we're really making a difference in the world, and nature in our wellness homes, and connecting to nature. I think Luis has said this so well the last 3 or 4 times that I've heard him speak. And I'm wondering if we can incorporate that into our vernacular when we're presenting mission and purpose. Because for me, that's been the biggest challenge for me. And I really recognize that now. You know, I still have to make the changes, you know, in my behavior and so forth. But can you comment on that? You know, I know.
Yeah, I'd love to comment on that because all of us are looking for purpose. That's the way we're wired. Is we need a purpose.
And you talk about that a lot.
However, let's go back. Brevity, simplicity, keep it simple. A brand new person, you know, that's fairly new. Momentum, getting things going. What works to make an appointment? If you kind of think about, okay, what I want to do is not give them the whole thing. That's very hard to do. What I want to do is I want to make contact with somebody and get them curious so that they'll want to meet with me. And in a text, that's pretty hard to talk about the grand mission of everything. In a text, you want to just have a few words. And so, are you familiar with energy medicine, earthing? Just real quick things. That is a curiosity creating statement that's very short, very simple, that'll fit into a text. If you try to go to somebody and say, okay, I'm going to text you something about the grand mission and we can be together and all of this stuff. People
no, I'm not talking about the texting to get the appointment.
That's what I was talking about.
No. You know, well, but I thought you were using.
First things first is,
okay.
is 3 ways to get started, because that's the context right here, is how do I make appointments to go see people to get them enrolled into what we're doing. And after we do the presentation and they get plugged into stuff, that's where they catch the mission.
Well, the point that I was listening to, and maybe I'm jumping ahead there too, is when you were saying if you can think of some other people to look for, kind, nice people, but can you ask people that are interested in making a change or really like helping other people, you know?
Absolutely.
That's the part I was listening to. If we can incorporate it more there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. I tell people to the things I'm looking for is somebody that's nice. Well, that fits into all sorts of categories, but just somebody nice. Somebody that's ambitious, got some gumption, and somebody that's hungry. And so kind of that's what I do. Make a list, check it twice, find out who's ambitious and nice. And then I would add that's still looking for their mission. You know, they're hungry. And then later on, all of this other stuff as people look at the whole wellness home philosophy, the idea of changing the world. You know, we really have a mission. I think of all the companies, common to every single company is a product or service. And most companies, what difference does it really make? If everybody had that product, or if nobody had that product, there's so much overlap of other companies with similar product or service. If that company was everyone using it or no one was using it, the world wouldn't be that much different. However, with NECANN, if everybody had NECANN products, it would be an entirely wonderfully better world. We could transform the world. And add to that what you're talking about. What if every person in America, part of the requirement to graduate from high school is they had to attend Humans Being More, even the 2-day program. It'd be completely different. So we'd really have a wonderful gift for everyone. So anyway, 3-way phone calls. Talk to people every day. Add people to your list every day. Do 3 ways every day. Get engaged, and the products are amazing. The opportunity is fantastic, and there's people out there that if they have this presented properly, they'll join. There's people out there, if you show them the stuff, they'll buy. Everything is there. All we got to do is ask, and so that's all I know. So we could have this 2 more hours, but that's a start for me.
Well, that's the best start. You do it pretty frequently and very successfully. So we need to listen to what you have to say. Thank you
Hey,
so much.
I'm excited. We've got a couple of new people in, and we're 8,500 PGV already this month. So trying to lead by example too.
So you've already hit the Team Kaizen then. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the way to Team Tai Chi. Great.
Now let's do it. Yeah, I noticed you're up there too, Madeline. So
I'm
congratulations to you.
sorry to catch up to you, but we're working. There's several of us here that are doing that.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's important. It's important to have the leader that's doing that, so that we say, if you can do it, we can do it too, and that
That's right.
you're in the game with us, and that you're not just talking about it, that you're really helping us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Okay.
Okay.
I'll send this to you. I'll send the recording to you, and then you can share it with everybody.
Okay. Love you all. Take care.
Bye-bye.